seems that Volition cannot go a month without doing something stupid. There is a reason why I have said in my past videos that everybody who works at Volition, who worked on the Saints Row reboot, should be fired. And that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. You might remember that 2 weeks ago, I did a video covering an update that Volition was doing to the Saints Row 4. To give you a rundown of this update, what was happening was that Volition was removing the base version of this game from Steam, from Epic, and also the Game of the Century edition of the game. And they were going to replace it with the Re-elected edition, and this update ended up upgrading people's base version of the game to the Re-elected edition of it. Of course, they didn't do this out of the kindness of their heart, because by removing these previous versions from the stores and only having the Re-elected version up there, it meant that they could charge more money for it. But it was as if Volition wanted to remind us just how incompetent of a video game company they are, because during the process of updating a 10-year-old game, which no one asked to be upgraded, they broke it. Yes, they broke Saints Row 4, a video game that came out all the way back in 2013. What we're going to do now is we're going to hop on over to the Steam page of this game, and I'm going to read you what some people are saying with all the fun stuff that they have on their minds. So here we are. Now I want to show you guys something here just to prove that they did remove these other versions of the game from the Steam store, from Epic. When you go to type in Saints Row 4 up here, the only thing you get here is Saints Row 4 Re-elected. You don't get the base game anymore. You don't get the Game of the Century edition, I believe it was called. It's just the base game, which brings you right here. So what I did here is that it should still be like that. I believe I went ahead and I had these sorted. If I can find it here. I had these sorted by recent. Here we go. By recent. And this is what some of the guys had to say about this. I think they sealed their fate as a crappy company for eternity with their new fursuit update plan. I will never buy anything from these idiots again. They just did not know when to quit. The dumbest game company ever. Forcing EGS/EOS honor a 10-year-old game just to collect some Steam user data? Nope. The recent crossplay update has borked the game entirely. The game often crashes, and the FPS and lower spec computers like my own Ryzen 5 4000 GeForce 1050 has tanked, where it could easily get 60 FPS on the highest setting. 20 FPS is the Langrid pit from where I now suffer. Trash game, doesn't work on co-op, constant crashes, don't waste your money. So I guess this here, like, it has something in common with the Saints Row reboot, right? Because the co-op for the Saints Row reboot doesn't work all that well either. So I'm beginning to think, you know, I'm just spitballing here, that maybe the people who have worked on the reboot, who have worked on this update over at Volition, doesn't know what the fuck they are doing. That's just me spitballing, of course, you know, me just sharing my thoughts with you guys. I'm probably wrong about that, because the Saints Row reboot, it was a masterpiece after all. Forced to download Epic to make it work with the newest upgrade? Fuck off. And this is another thing that I see that a lot of people are complaining about in here, is that I guess in order to get this game now to work properly, you actually need to download the Epic launcher. I used to love this game, but now y'all just ruined it. Crashes every time I click continue. It keeps on going on. Like, there's a bunch of negative reviews here. There's some positive ones, you know. Positive ones don't really sign much. The more recent negative ones, though, they're saying the same thing, that the game's pretty much unplayable. It goes on and on and on. I can scroll all the way down here. You can see all the red ones there. You know, it's nothing new. But speaking of the Saints Row reboot and how the Volition team is complete incompetent fools, did you guys know that the Saints Row reboot was actually nominated for an award? Yeah, an award. Was it for their story? Because, you know, the story for the Saints Row reboot, Mwah, amazing. Or was it for the state-of-the-art gameplay? Or was it for the beautiful graphics that littered the open world of the Saints Row reboot? Well, if you guys can't tell, you know, I try to make it a bit obvious there, but everything I just said, it was sarcasm, okay? Like, no. Everything except for the part that they won an award. Because that is true. We over here on Twitter now on the Saints Row page, all right? So they did win an award, or they are nominated for an award. Sorry, they are nominated for an award by a magazine called the Gaming Magazine, as you can see on screen now. And in case you can't, Gaming is spelled with a Y. And I think you guys can just picture what this award is for. It is for, and I'll read straight from what the Gaming Magazine thing posted here. This award recognizes the best examples of authentic LGBTQ representation in a game. Authentic LGBTQ representation in the game. The only reason there was LGBTQ people in this game was for brownie points. Serves no purpose in the game. Other than that, it is abundantly clear they use it just as sort of a, oh, hey, look, we're so hip, we are so woke, we have a gay person in the game, love us. That is the only reason they have those characters in the game, because it adds nothing to their personality at all. And this here just proves the point that awards nowadays has nothing to do with a game actually being good. Because let's be honest here, the Saints Row reboot is a contender for the worst game of the year, if not the worst game of this first half of the decade. That is not me hating on the game because it's a piece of shit. That is me just simply pointing out a fact. This is why people are saying that wokeness is infested in the video game industry. To say that it isn't, you gotta be a complete idiot to say that it isn't infested in it. Long gone are the days when a game wins an award because it is an actual good game. Those days, bye-bye. They're long gone, because most awards now, most games that are awarded some big stuff, you know, some of the big awards, game of the year, all that stuff, there is usually some kind of, I guess I'm going to say, political climate behind it. You know what I mean? The game is usually woke in one way or another. Look at The Last of Us 2, won all those awards when the game really wasn't all that good. But the funny thing about this is that the Twitter page for Saints Row, they think this is some kind of big win. They're like, oh my god, yes, we finally won something. There's one person out there who actually likes playing our game. I find it's funny, but then I also remember who runs the Saints Row Twitter page, and then it really becomes kind of sad. But in case you guys didn't know, I'm Gamer Geek, and if you watch this long, why not watch the video on screen now? I hope all of you have an amazing and wonderful day. Peace out.